Hello learners. In this video we will be talking about Portrait of a Lady, which is written by Khushwant Singh. This particular chapter is important because it is part of both Punjab board as well as CBSE board for class 11th only. The other thing which is important about is that anything that is written by Khushwant Singh, and when it comes to Indian writing in English, it becomes important. In this video we will be discussing about what what are the important questions which are asked in your board examination or in your final examinations, as well as what are the themes, how to approach this thing. So Khushwant Singh, he was a politician, a novelist, short story writer. He was associated with so many newspapers in India, and he was also the public relation officer of India. Born in Pakistan, later on the family moved to India after partition, and later on he studied in London, and again he came back to India. He has served even as the Indian ambassador. So he usually used to say this thing that I wasn't that intelligent, but by using the important, I knew how to make contacts, and using them I grew in my life. So this was the theory of Khushwant Singh. Typical Punjabi, he used to love eating, drinking, and cracking jokes, poetry. He has even translated some of the verses of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji into English, the Tuka, right? So he has translated some of them. There are some books also written by him. Quite an interesting writer. So this one is he wrote it in the memory of his grandmother, and in this chapter he has explained that how was his relationship with her, and the question which is important from the examination point of view is the character sketch of his grandmother. So he starts like that. Khushwant Singh used to live with his grandmother in a village, and he says that my grandmother was like as if born old, right? She had wrinkles, and she was short, she was bent. Her demeanor was like, that the typical old ladies. And he says that since my childhood I have seen her like this, and even there is a portrait of my grandfather in the drawing room, and he looks like he will always be old. He never could be young, or in his youth it feels like he was born as a grandfather, right? Because some like he was quite old. So then he comes to his grandmother and says that because she was a widow, so she used to wear white clothes only, and with one hand on her waist, and with the other hand she used to tell the beads of her rosary, mala chapte, jaise telling beads, right? So and then he explains how how many efforts his grandmother used to put. Like, she used to wake him up, dress him up, while she used to put clothes on him. She was mostly like saying some prayers, so that by listening to them Khushwant Singh will learn them by heart, and everything was going fine. He was studying in a gurudwara school, a school in the village where his grandmother also used to go. And in the morning, while dropping him to school, after that she used to carry some stale chapatis, which she used to just to feed the street dogs there. And when Khushwant Singh used to study there, in the meanwhile she used to pray in the gurudwara, just say the prayers and read some scriptures. So both of them, they were happy with this thing. But one fine day, when Khushwant Singh's father and his family was settled in the city, they called Khushwant Singh as well as his grandmother. Now how life changes. So this is the contrast between the village life as well as the city life. In the village life, people are just simple, no that much of stress of studies. People can even walk to the schools or workplaces. But now in the city, a bus used to come. The school where he was going was an English school, where they used to teach him science, maths, things which Dadi Mama, the grandmother, didn't know or couldn't understand. So that's why she was like, "Oh, okay, what kind of education system is this?" Because she has always seen that the education should have some didactic element also, something to teach to the children as well. So this thing went on. Now after this thing, He explains that once he informed his grandmother that now they are teaching music at school. So those old Punjabi mentality is such that they don't consider music and dancing and singing anything that is associated with the good families, the reputed families. They feel like, this is not for us, things like that. But still, like this thing was going on, and now because Dadimama couldn't feed the street dogs, she started feeding the sparrows in the veranda. So things were fine, things were smooth for them. Now um now after this, but he actually realized that as he's growing up, earlier she was his best friend, then the friendship is started growing apart, because now Khushwant Singh is busy with his studies, and later on he went to the university. So when he went to the university, he got his own room. So the common link, because earlier they were staying in the same room right together, it also snapped, it was cut off. So now the grandmother, she simply accepted that not as rejection she had taken it, but she took it more like she will be staying on her own, talking, like just praying all the time, telling her beads. So then she was like, she even left that spinning wheel, charkha. Earlier Punjabi ladies had this habit of spinning the wheel, right? So she even left that thing, and then she used to do it a bit only in the mornings and in the afternoons or in the evenings, but just feeding sparrows was her only thing that she was still doing from her this thing. Now she started becoming more older, and her body also started stopped supporting her. And then Khushwant Singh decided that he will be studying abroad. Now when he told this thing to his grandmother, she was upset, because she felt like it would be 5 years. She wasn't sure whether she will survive or not, whether she'll be able to see him again or not. And earlier it wasn't like that. Now when we go to any country for our higher education, people come back after 6 months or at least once a year, although the visits are definitely a limited number of times, but still. So but then she didn't, but she, on the contrary, she did not show any emotions, but she was quiet. She went to the railway station to drop him, and before he could leave, she kissed his forehead, and he could actually feel, this is how elderly people, they express their love and emotions. So he cherished that moisture of lips, and this was his memory, one of the last memories of his grandmother. And then finally he left. After 5 years, he came back, and again she was there at the railway station looking for him. But now also he said that she looked exactly the same, because earlier also she was so old, and now also she's like just the same number of wrinkles and same white suit. And she was standing there reciting some prayers, and her happiest moments, like she was so happy, right? And then she sat and was again feeding her sparrows, but she was happy but still neutral. And then in the evening, she did not pray, she was very happy. She called the ladies, the ladies, those who were living in the nearby area, in the neighborhood. So she called them, and they all had kind of that Punjabi party where they played drums and sang those folk songs, and enjoyed that thing. So she was happy, and she didn't pray, she was just normal. And we have this dilapidated drum as dholki, right? Because it's dilapidated. Dilapidated is in case we are using something like a diaphragm, a skin kind of thing, right? And then they had to persuade her to stop, to avoid overstraining, because otherwise she would have been very tired. But she was happy, she was on cloud nine. And that was the first day, he said, that I saw her that she didn't pray. And the next morning she fell ill, maybe because of the exertion of the last evening. Any reason could be there. Doctor said it's a mild fever, but grandmother, she was sure that my time has come. She told them this thing, and then she said that since only a few hours are left before she might end, like she might leave this world. So she was not going to waste talking to anyone. She started praying, and she prayed and prayed. And after some time, when they just looked at her, she wasn't there, only the body was there. So in the evening, everybody came back, they just put the body down. Everyone was sad, but that day when the sparrows came, they tried to give some bread, some chapati, some rotis, to those morsels, the pieces to the sparrows, but it was of no use. Even the birds were mourning over her death. Nobody ate anything, not just the family but also those sparrows, because they also feel attached to the human soul. And finally she died. So what is important about this is the character sketch of Dadi Mama, character sketch of grandmother, how she looked like, what she used to do, what kind of emotional bond she had, how spiritual she was, how you think her intellectual level would be. All these things are important. So this is just a small chapter. My suggestion to you would be that there are a lot of words, these vocab given to us. So just read them, keep reading, keep sharing. Let learning be your muse, let sharing be your muse. God bless you. Bye bye. Take care.